At the risk of offending my host who's allowed me into his home, you're starting to sound like the middle-aged white guy you are. You're starting to sound like a guy that's just, doesn't like stuff like this. You would prefer paper books. I prefer Kindle. You just seem like maybe you're trying to pick some battles on old-fashioned things that you like, when the rest of us who are a little more hip, we might like to actually read real books and get real knowledge without killing trees.
So
what do you say to that?
Well, first, I love technology. So we haven't talked about this a lot, but I'm a total geek. Every 5 years, I try to learn a new programming language. I love any aspect of tech I find fascinating, and I use all of it. And I use all these devices. But I want to use them as tools, not as devices. That is, things that extend my capacity, not as things that replace or diminish my capacity. And call me nostalgic if you want to, but I'm just looking around and I don't see us getting happier. I don't see us getting healthier physically or spiritually. And so I'm just asking, what's going wrong?
The most technologically advanced country has a life expectancy that's decreasing, going down.
Decreasing.
The last stats I saw in happiness, I don't think we cracked the top 10 worldwide.
And we're worse off than our parents were, than our grandparents were, even though our lives are easier. So I am not at all opposed. Technology is, again, very good. But it's only very good when it's hooked up to becoming human, to being a flourishing human being. And the way to know whether it's helping you flourish or not, I think there's kind of two tests. One is the dependence test, and that is, do I feel anxious when I don't have this thing supplying me with entertainment, with a sense of worth, satisfaction? And I'm not meant to be dependent on some external thing for that, but I often can become dependent in that way. And the other big test, really, of any idol, any false god, any substitute for the good life, is what's happening to my relationships. Are my relationships getting deeper as I use this thing, or are they getting shallower? Are they getting thinner? Is it getting harder to have relationships? And I absolutely believe there's a way to use all these devices. I use all of them, 6 days a week. 1 day a week I don't, but 6 days a week I use them and love them and benefit from them. But I've had to learn, and through a lot of painful discovery, what are the disciplines that allow me to use these devices not as substitutes for being human, but as extensions of really, truly being human. You're going to be different, and sometimes different is hard. I mean, sometimes kids call it weird. Sometimes your neighbors call it weird. But we're going to be different. It's so much better. Again, you don't have to get rid of all the devices, but we just use them differently, and we're going to reclaim and restore the kind of good life that we are made for. And we can make a difference in our culture on this. There is maybe no area where our neighbors, the people we work with every day, the people we are with in our neighborhoods, are more unsettled, unsure, feel like something's not right. And we can absolutely make a difference in how our whole culture approaches this. And that means we can be part of flourishing, not just for ourselves and our families and our communities, but really the whole nation and the whole way this story goes. We can be part of a different story.